Welcome to More Than Dentistry, where your hosts Evert and Waldo discuss life, dentistry, and everything in between with dentists around the world.
Hello and welcome to the More Than Dentistry podcast. BDS meeting still. I'm sitting with Marc Sher. Marc is a friend of mine from varsity. We were in class together. The first time I took notice of Marc was it our second year? When did we amalgamate?
Second year. Yeah, when I told them to sort their stuff out, yeah.
But it was the dean of UWC. Who was it?
I was one of them.
But just this guy is like a second year student. He tunes the professor for being late. What was it? He was late.
Yeah, I just said like, what's going on? You guys don't know what you're doing. Yeah, we were sitting here for hours. I remember that actually.
That's literally the first time I took notice of you. Like before that, I never knew you were there. I was like, oh, okay, this guy's next. Anyway, so
good old varsity, huh?
Yeah, I don't miss that place at all.
Jesus, I also just wanted to get out of there when I was done.
Me too.
I was like,
I enjoyed the social and everything, but I literally don't use one thing I learned from varsity.
True, that's true.
Everything I went to the bridge program the other day where I did a composite thing, and afterwards we had some beers with the people, and they were talking about stuff, and I was like, literally nothing of that I'm still doing.
Yeah,
like all the bonding protocols, and it's like everything changes.
Yeah, I think we actually got screwed badly because when they merged, they just had to put a program together on the fly.
Yeah.
You know, it was like there was no. There was the old UWC program mixed with Tigerberg, Stellenbosch Oaks, and I reckon they just gooed together a quick program on the fly.
Yeah.
And in 2004, 2005, doing like amalgams in detail. I mean,
exactly.
We've had to relearn everything, dude.
We did, but I think it's a case for all players. I mean, 10 years. When did we finish? 2007.
Yeah.
So it's now 12 years on. Everything has changed. Yeah. So if you're not going to learn yourself and go to courses and attend stuff and actually read the instructions for use on your bond, then you're not going to know. You can't remember from your third year class.
I missed that bonding lecture.
Exactly.
I didn't even know what the...
I don't even know how to use bond. And it's amazing how people don't bond correctly. Yeah. It's like the most simple thing in dentistry is bonding.
Yeah.
And the one thing you have to do right, everyone neglects it.
Totally. It's true. It's the stuff that most folks will do like every day. Your class 1, 2 restorations, and if you just get those first 2 steps wrong, or you just think you know what you're doing, because no one's guiding you in varsity, and then you buy stuff that you actually wasn't even being offered at varsity. You've got some rep coming along. Yeah, I mean everything's it's you have to relearn basically the entire profession. I think all it taught you was confidence.
Yeah, and it gave you the permission to learn more.
Yeah, and how to actually get into a patient's mouth without shaking and sweating and freaking out. Because especially the comm service here. I mean, I don't know where were you?
I was in Humansdorp.
Okay, you were close, but it was also like, what were you doing? Extractions.
We did extractions. Yeah, and sit behind the closed door and drinking tea all day.
I did extractions and amalgams. The first time I saw composite again was when I went into private.
Really?
And I remember not air drying my bonding like properly, and I had like my first few composites would just fall out. I was like, what the hell am I doing wrong here? Just air drying for like 2-3 seconds, etching the entire cavity, dentine, everything, getting like really like Jesus. I was like, and so you actually, for young oaks coming out of comm service, especially if you don't get a good post, I think like that bridge program you spoke of. Yeah. Well, there's got to be. I mean, I think online's the way, dude. I think
just on Instagram, the amount of stuff I learned on Instagram is ridiculous.
I think you just got to go online. That's actually a great platform to start setting up educational videos. You just like a 5-minute video on a resin filling. Yeah. Then you post it to like all the oaks that just qualified. It's like, watch this 5-minute video, refresh your memory. Yeah. When the last time you did a composite was probably a year ago. When the last time you cut a crown off the comserve was like a year. You know what I mean? So,
and I think the whole we spoke about mentorship with other guys. I think that's super important. I don't know what you think about it.
Jeez, dude, if I had gone, I reckon, and you also joined a practice with a few older guys. Yeah. That was invaluable. Not only like it's like lonely on your own, especially if you just come. I mean, you only know what you know, and it's lonely. The profession, It's hard.
Easy, yeah.
You need someone. Not only you need like a mentor to like just guide you, but you need someone to talk to about the case that you just did that is going to stress you out for the next 2 days.
Exactly.
You need to let
that understands your emotions you're going through.
Yeah, you need to release that onto someone who understands. Exactly. No, if I didn't have the practice that I was when I went to Sea Point, and had like 5 guys. I was the youngest by 20 years.
So it's a very established,
well established. Practice. I could if I wasn't busy, which I wasn't in the beginning. Let's see one patient in the morning. Twiddle my thumbs. I'd like walk into their surgery and just politely ask if I can just watch.
Yeah.
And you just learn. You just keep quiet. Just sit in the corner. You just watch. And it's just the amount of stuff I learned just from watching.
Exactly. And just getting that second opinion when you're not sure about something.
Totally. And bouncing ideas off, and it's. I think it's actually more important than ComServe.
Yeah.
I think actually should be a program where before you even allowed to start your own practice,
like a residency,
you have in private practice. Because the South African have,
but that's exactly how the lawyers do it and how the accountants do it. We should be doing the same thing.
100%. I think it's. I mean, the patients are. Well, look. I mean, I suppose. And I think most it's either like it's a family thing. I had no one in my family did dentistry, so I had to like find my way in.
Yeah.
But if you're one of those young guys who's just going it alone, I mean, good luck.
Yeah, rethink it.
It's definitely beneficial to find a mentor close by, even if it's a surgery down the road.
Yeah. And I always tell people the first 2 or 3 years, rather chase experience than money.
Yeah.
You go to a place that's going to pay you peanuts, but you're going to learn a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
You're going to make up that money in the next 10 years.
Totally.
Tenfold.
100%.
So if you can afford it to, even if you just shadow some guy for a while. Totally. Another thing I always tell people, I spoke to Darren about it, is if you want to know how to do lab work, go to a lab and see what they get in.
Totally. The technicians will teach you more than you'll learn at varsity.
Yeah.
I mean, your technician is actually, it's a great piece of advice.
Yeah.
You find a technician that has been around and hopefully they've got the patience and the time to just say, look, this is how I want you to do the impression.
Exactly.
This is how I want you to do the prep.
Yeah.
And
you'll show you 10 good ones and 10 bad ones and you'll know what to do.
Yeah.
I always tell Ernst, it's my lab technician, you should just give us a lecture on the 5 things he wants to see out of a practice. Just tell us what you want, because they're always sitting there taking the scraps from us.
Exactly.
And then apologizing when it's not fitting. They should take more of a role and say, listen, this is bullshit. Don't give me stuff like this. Send it back. Redo it, or I'm not going to do your work anymore.
Well, I think it's almost like the white coat, syndrome, whereas like the technician has always felt inferior to the dentist.
Yeah.
And I think that's changing, where it's totally like everyone's on level par here.
Yeah.
A good ceramist is indispensable to a good dentist.
Yeah.
So there's no like, I think, and I reckon a lot of old school dentists, won't mention names here, but will tell the technicians what to do, and that's how they want it. And credit to them, they're that experienced. But I think the majority of oaks out there see your techie as a partner,
and a friend, and a mentor,
and a mentor, exactly.
Yeah.
And you're right, and they're the ones who actually they can rate us amongst ourselves more than anything, because they're getting all dentists' work sitting on their lab. So they can go, you know what, this prep you did was good. And I remember, like, in the beginning, my Marcel and them from Ceramia would say to me, geez, those preps are awesome. And I was just starting out, gave me so much confidence. Because I don't know if it was, and they were like, really, that's great, because we're comparing it to the other stuff we see. So, I think the technician's role in young mentorship is key, man. It's actually, you're right, you should have some form of, let a technician run like a few, well, not even a few mentorship programs, but just guidelines.
Just open up his lab for him, tell people, listen, come sit with me. Totally. There's 100 guys sitting in Medicross today without work, waiting for the paint to dry or a patient to walk in. Just take the afternoon off, go sit in the lab.
Sit in the lab,
and talk crap to the guy and drink a beer afterwards.
It's good advice.
So you say when a guy finishes his ComServe, join.
I think if you're thinking about what to do after ComServe, your first, obviously, I mean, I remember like going, what the hell now? Is there a classified section? How do you find a job? And I was just lucky. It was just timing and right place.
Same
right
with
time.
me.
But I reckon if there's if there is an opportunity, even if you just locum for a few hours a day at a busy practice, and I suppose probably the best thing to do is just to literally like go door to door, as like your, take your CV with you, walk around from practice to practice in your neighborhood, and just knock on the door and say, look, I don't have a role. I want to come and sit here, and if there is like an hour or 2 hours I can work, and I mean, one colleague of mine just plays golf every damn Wednesday, and he's got an empty surgery. And he's been doing that for 20 years, but never had anyone come into his surgery. And no doubt that phone will ring on a Wednesday, and there'll be a patient like, sorry, can I see a dentist? And there you go. So I think that's just the way to do it. Is.
But the thing is on you. You've got to go out and find those guys. You can't sit and wait for them to come find you.
And there's no classified section that you can, like jobs 24 or it doesn't work like that, I think. And also if you want that right position, you got to hunt for it.
Exactly.
It's not going to fall into your lap. I mean, I think we both got quite lucky. But it doesn't happen like that.
So the normal thing is guys would go into a Medicross or Intercare or stay in government. A lot of guys are staying in government at the moment because the salaries are so good. And I always tell them, it is good, but just get out as soon as possible because you get in this comfort zone of just getting a nice salary and not doing anything.
It's harder because you've got to know then what type of dentistry you want to do. And I mean, I'm only kind of now finding my niche, 10 years later, like this is what I really want to do. But I kind of knew then that I wanted to do implants. I wanted to do cosmetic work. I mean, it's such a loose word thrown around, a cosmetic dent. I knew then I had an inkling to go that way. So that's what I set off to do. But some oaks are just happy to pull and I suppose if that's what you want to do with dentistry. And if we look at South Africa in the context, this podcast is going out to South African dentists. There's a need for a government dentist, really.
For sure.
I mean, not everyone is going to either fit the private bill or actually cut it in private or handle it. And if you're that type of dentist, there's no shame in that. But rather try to figure that out like sooner rather than later.
I've got a friend now that she studied, she was a year ahead of us. She's literally now 13 years in government, and now she wants to get out, and it's super difficult for her to get out. So if you want to get out early, and if you get out, chase experience and not money. You'll have a lot of time to make money eventually. And
I think if you were in varsity and you loved the academic side of things, none of us loved it. I hated it. I was like, get me out of here. I don't want to sit in the library and look through journals and research and reference. That killed me. It was like just soul destroying. I'd rather be surfing. You know what I mean? But if you're that way inclined, I think those university opportunities are something to look at.
For sure.
A lot of guys that have stayed with the varsities, and
they're doing a great role there. They're fulfilling a great role. Guys like Rian, he's a professor now.
Dude, he's cruising. He was developing a resin modified glass enema the last third.
Really,
he gets that right.
And with all respect, Rian is a guy that belongs there. That's
he found his niche. He knew that
he's very good at it.
He wasn't going to be the type of dentist that's going to win patients over because it's just.
He's a reserved kind of guy. He loves
his
academics.
Personality. But he found his niche in academics and killing it there. I think, and there were quite a few in our class that were like super bright, but maybe like, not the best with patients.
And that's important though.
Well,
check the
if you want to survive in private, actually, it counts 10% how good you are as a clinician. It counts 90% how you
socially
speak and deal with patients. Because if they don't like you, or if you're rude or abrupt or short, it doesn't matter how good your work is. They're not going to refer patients to you. They're not going to like the experience. They're shitting themselves anyway and walking into your surgery. So being like a nice person is actually
helps a lot.
It helps. I think it helps more than anything. And then even if shit goes wrong,
people don't sue a nice guy.
Will. You just own it, apologize, and stuff will go wrong. And
it's amazing how quickly people respond once you own it and apologize.
Totally. Like, I'm so sorry this happened. Let me try fix it for you.
It happened to me this week. A girl wrote letters and said the work I did is breaking, and she paid so much money. And then she also said, while you were doing the work, you were very rushed and you weren't very nice to me in the mail. And that's all that mattered, was that.
Exactly.
Nothing else. If I was nice to her, it could have fallen apart. She came back to me in this week, and the first thing I said, listen, I had the email in front of me. I said, listen, you're right. I was rushed, and I was stressed, and I went through a bad thing that day, and I really apologize for it.
Yeah.
Immediately, she's turned around, and she's fine.
Yeah.
The work that was breaking wasn't even my work that I was doing, but in her mind, I own her teeth now. She owns me for life.
And they're not going to know if it's the tooth you did or the one next to it.
Or the one next to it, exactly. So, but just the act of apologizing just changed the whole atmosphere. 100%. And I think doctors in the past were so high and mighty that they were always right.
Look, I think you've got some patients, and I think there's like 1% of them who will just give you
they always give you
a hard time no matter what you do.
Yeah.
And you're nice, and then there's a point,
obviously,
where you've got to go, okay, right, look, I think we should just break up here.
Yeah.
But initially and throughout the process, you just got to be humble and not arrogant.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times I've bitten my tongue and swallowed my pride and just said, look, let's try fix it. Like, try find a solution rather than blame or go.
Yeah, or rather just have a bad relationship.
Yeah.
And
it's like, you didn't brush your teeth, you didn't floss, your implant failed, it's your fault. So and then it's just customer service, basically, like any industry. And what does it cost? Look, I suppose Mark actually did the study, is like, if a patient comes back after failure, it actually starts costing you. But still, you forget about the money. It's about your peace of mind, really. Yeah. It's like, how did I manage the situation poorly, or did I manage it well? Yeah. And a lot of the times, I'll just come back to the practice, let me fix it. Yeah. I'm not going to charge you. Even if it's like, it's a year later, there's like a gray area. I did these crowns on an Australian woman, and she sent me a message this week, the one Emax crown fractured, and she's in Australia.
That's the worst.
And I'm like, oh God. So anyway, we're making a plan. Yeah. Luckily, everything was 3D designed and 3D saved, and we've got everything and we're just actually gonna mill the crown and send it over. We've got to address us. Like, immediately I was like, look, let's you're not in Cape Town. If you were here, I'd bring you in tomorrow. Yeah. I'd make you a new crown. Yeah. Even though it's a year and a half later, shouldn't happen. Yeah. But let me try find a solution. And all the messages I'm getting back is like, thank you so much for helping me. Thank you so much. Like, she's not bummed anymore that her tooth broke. Initially at the message, I felt the tone. It was I've spent like this on the crown, it's broken, and I just like immediately turned to like, okay, let's find a solution. Yeah. Let's not let's not fight about this. Exactly. It's a year and a half later, it's not my problem. I could have easily
said that. And most people would have done that.
And I feel better. She's like still stoked with me. She's not like,
she's going to refer more people to you.
Even if she doesn't, and she's like, look, something went wrong, but he handled it well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's important.
The crown broke, but we try to find a solution. I'd rather her speak about me that way than say like the crown broke.
Saved 3,000 rand on a lab fee of a crown.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's. I don't think you can actually teach that.
No, you can't.
Well enough. Is how to deal with difficult patients. Yeah. And especially as a young dentist, and I think you reach a forgiving age. I don't know about you, but now I feel like I'm way past that forgiving age. When I was young, I looked young. Patients are like, oh, shame.
They actually speak down to you a little bit.
Yeah, they're like, oh, he's young, and then you'll never see them again. And you're fine with that. But like now, I think when you get past like your 30s. And you're established. Yeah. There's no excuse now that you're young and inexperienced. Yeah. And you've just got to own the stuff ups. Actually, I don't think, and then that's why coming to these congresses sometimes irritates the shit out of me, because it's like, look how great I am. Exactly. That's why I like listening to Howard talk, because he'll show you like, look how I fucked this up. And why I fucked it up, and now I'm going to fix it. Yeah. So I don't know if I should swear on this.
No, you can swear. It's fine.
And those are the kind of like lessons that you learn. Yeah. How to just deal with.
Yeah, you learn out of failures.
Because we're not God. Yeah, we're trying to recreate nature, honestly. And like patients, it's like the classic American syndrome. It's like they eat fast food and then they expect a cure for heart disease.
Exactly.
Like stuff up your mouth and I'll fix it.
Yeah,
and then go
and then
stuff
you-
it up again,
Yeah.
and it's my fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even though we know as dentists that's the reality, but still, it's a service industry.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
that's what I always try and tell people. When I walk in there, I said, listen, I'm not going to give you anything better than what you had.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you something worse than what you had. And you managed to fuck up your proper ones.
Yeah, that's a great conversation.
it's not
to have
gonna
with them.
last.
It's like, look at your mouth. Okay, look what you've done to it over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to create what you originally had.
Yeah.
I'm not God yet.
I would always say, I'm not God, I just work for him.
Yeah,
That's
true. It's such a great, and I, you know, and I sometimes forget to have that conversation in the beginning, because sometimes you do get this persona that you know what, I'm gonna fix this,
sort you out.
and you're gonna look awesome,
Yeah.
and you think like, and it's so important to actually to have the conversation early.
Yeah.
And I'm actually like now like kind of stepping back before I say, look, this is going to be easy, this is going to be fixed. Just hold back your tongue a bit and go, like, you know what? Explain. I know you want to explain what can all go wrong. But
you want to manage the expectations
Totally.
long term.
That's it.
And another thing that I think people should learn is to talk about money very early on as well. Money is always this elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about.
Totally.
So my thing is I always go in with money at the beginning. So a guy
100%.
walks in and I said, listen,
Yeah.
let's talk about the awkward thing. How much money have you got?
Yeah.
Have you won the lottery recently? Because you're going to need it to fix your teeth. And then
Yeah.
you kind of put it in a funny thing,
Yes.
but at least bring that topic forward.
100%.
Because that's the biggest issue with medical aid practices is you end up treating the medical aid and not the patient.
Yeah.
And when people say to me, listen, I don't know if my medical aid is going to pay, the first thing I say is, I don't care if your medical aid is going to pay. Are you going to pay? You're responsible for the bill, not the medical aid. And if they take ownership of their money issue, it's amazing how they take ownership of their teeth immediately
100%.
as well.
Yeah, 100%. That's. I mean, I'm fortunate. I just fully private, but I have started a medical aid practice. Excuse me, in Woodstock, and that's been a lesson in patients' perception when they don't pay.
Yeah.
And it's actually, I mean, medical aids, and then we all know they just absolutely destroy the profession.
Yeah.
They destroy our credibility. They destroy our ability to do what we need to do, not what they say we can do. What's best for the patient goes out the window. It's how much they have and what's possible within their budget. The whole thing is plagued. It's a poisonous system. But I don't know how that's ever going to stop. Maybe the consumer will see the light eventually. And I think the wise patients already go, you know what, I'm going to go on a hospital plan. And I forget the expensive medical aid, and I'm just going to pay out of my pocket and go to someone who is quality. And I think they're catching on.
They are, definitely.
Hoping that the generation coming through aren't like so scared, because it's like a fear-based thing. I'm going to get medical aid because, you know, I was told, and my broker said to me, if I don't get it, something's going to happen.
It's the biggest joke ever.
So hopefully that all changes. And I think the more we talk about it publicly, and I've been on the radio and I've slated the medical aids publicly, I was like, so, you know, rather just get a hospital plan. Don't buy into their program, no matter what they tell you. You're not going to save. And you're actually going to land up doing yourself a disservice, because they're going to limit your treatment ability.
It's all fear-based. They're selling fear to you
Totally.
that you can end up with cancer in hospital for 20 years and you can't be able to work. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. Look, I mean,
There are some of those
if you're in a car accident and you get rushed to hospital and you don't have medical aid, you know, I've got a hospital plan personally, and I've always had it for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't see a value in going on to anything more than that at this point. And I suppose dentistry, I mean, it's just something that I don't even think they should.
Medical aids are not paying anymore at all, even. So. Which is great for us. The less they pay, the better for most things.
Exactly. And then you're right. Just have that money conversation in the beginning.
Yeah.
Get the fear out of them, because you should be paid for what you do, and it shouldn't be like you shouldn't hand it over to your receptionist to go, here's the bill, and the patient's like, what the hell, you know. I think having a good quoting system is also
that's the most important.
Is also important, and like set up templates that are like, you'll do treatments more like I've got my implant templates set up.
Okay.
Patient wants an implant, the quote's pretty much done. I tweak it if I've got to add bone but it's a copy paste. I just add here, so and so. You need an implant in the lower left. This is how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
We're going to do some bone grafting. This is how much it's going to cost, and then you get it emailed to them. You know,
exactly.
It's written there black and white.
Seconds.
It takes 5 seconds. So easy, and then there's no. Yeah, I mean, look, the stuff can go wrong. The story you told me earlier, it's like if then that's admin staff, and things are going to happen like that throughout your. One thing I do want to just add to this when we wrap this up is knocking other dentists' work to patients.
Oh, that's stupid.
You know, and
But patients see through that, so...
Well, I had a case now, my Woodstock dentist did a filling, fell out the next day on the patient, but she wrote in the notes like, this guy needs a crown.
Yeah.
Or an inlay. It's just way too big a cavity. Yeah. And she only had 15 minutes to do this damn thing. Yeah. And it fell out the next day, so the dentist never went back, but he went to another dentist. And that dentist said, look, you should actually sue this dentist because the filling should never fallen out. Yeah. And then he wrote us this hectic email like about the dentist in Woodstock and how he's going to sue us and should never fall out. And all because, and his first was because the other dentist told me, I can sue you. Now, you don't know what your colleagues are, and you don't know what the
you don't know what the situation was like.
Situation is like. Yeah. Look, if you see a cowboy cutting teeth down, and don't tell the patient. I think it's
pick up the phone and
phone that guy and say, look, I just saw your work and I'm a little bit worried that you might be a bit aggressive. And if you want to go that route, if you even want to confront him, I mean, I don't even think it's my role to do that.
No, I don't think it is. But I don't where it becomes your responsibility is if a patient asks you something. Yeah. And all you do is you tell them what you see.
Yeah.
And you don't make assumptions on what happened.
Yeah.
So if there's a big prepped tooth, you say, listen, I'm seeing a tooth that's been prepped very heavily. And that's what you say. You don't say... The guy is a loser and he prepped all your animal away. You just say what you see.
100%.
Yeah, and I think I've had the tendency to say more than what I should have said. And
I also sometimes, and in my early days, I was a lot more arrogant. I was like, because I thought I knew it all, and I was doing private courses, and I was like, no, this is not how it should be done. I've been there, I'll never do that again. You know
what I did? I actually sent a guy. I was in community service. A woman came in with a root canal was half filled. I wrote a letter. I said, just redo this root canal, please, and do it properly this time. I gave it to the woman. She read the thing, and I phoned the guy. Yeah. I can't believe how arrogant I was. I was like that. I would now never say anything like that because you never know the situation.
You don't know the situation. How much time did he have? What did the patients have? What were the demands on the dentist?
Exactly.
Saying to the patient, I've got a case now. I did an emergency root canal in December this year, and I've emailed the patient countless times to come back and finish it. Now I know what's going to happen is that she'll rock up in some other dentist practice, and there's cotton roll in there and Lidomex that I put in because I said come back in a week. She hasn't come back. It's now freaking August, dude. and what's going to happen? She's going to sit in this and she's going to say, no, this dentist did a root canal on me. Yeah. And he's going to open up and he's going to go, there's no root canal. Yeah, it's cotton roll. What the hell did this guy do? But the context is that she's just cancelled about 4 points with me, refuses to come back. I don't know if she's scared or money or whatever the story is, but in
her mind, she's had a root canal.
Exactly. Yeah. So she's going to tell this dentist, this guy did a root canal for me. He's going to look at it, he's going to go, no chance. And then what the hell was this guy doing? And then going, no, your dentist like stuffed up the tooth and... She'll probably lose that tooth anyway now, and it's not, but I've got it all documented. Yeah. But still, the point is like, you don't know what the oak went through. Yeah. You don't know what he was under. You don't know what the patient did to get into the situation. And patients speak in layman's terms because they only hear they only hear what they kind of register in their brain. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Just on a different topic, after hours, what do you do for relaxation, and how do I
de-stress?
Yeah, how do you de-stress?
Dude, look, I think if I didn't surf, and I don't surf all the time like I used to, I think that's like the one place I find solace. And I think it just, this time of being, even if you just reading a book and,
I think the time of being alone and a little bit of quietness.
Got to find a way to switch off. Yeah. And literally forget about your work, and you actually have to train yourself to do that when you get home at night too. Otherwise, you don't sleep sometimes. The switch off mode that I'm busy teaching myself, and I've actually, I've got a life coach actually helps me through that. And I've done about 7 months with her now because as the practice grows and grows and grows, it just gets busier and more stressful and stuff and then you're coming home and you carry all that shit with you, and then you root to your wife, and you're like, and if you've got kids, you're not there, you're not present. Yeah. So that ability to just go accept that you had cuck today and leave it there and just done. and then move into like, okay, I'm now be present, I'm at home,
Yeah.
I'm just going to forget about it. And I've started to really like, it makes me feel so lekker. You know, I come home to my beautiful place, I've got like nice, you know, I look it around like, oh, I can lie on my couch, I can watch some TV, I can make myself a nice warm dinner. And for, you know what, so what? Like, it didn't go according to plan today. Staff issues, I had a difficult patient. I'm not going to bring it home with me. And
I find it difficult to do that sometimes, I must say.
It's not something you can learn quickly. It's a process that you actually have to develop, because you'll get it every time. You'll get it, and you'll find yourself stressed. You'll find yourself anxious, freaking out. And look, I mean, I find obviously surfing, which helps me, because when you're out there and you're surfing, you actually have to think about only what you're doing.
Exactly,
because so it immediately puts you into this zone state that you're not at work.
Yeah.
So, and even if it's going for a long run, gym, I mean, I have to exercise every day. I'll do something that's like movement yoga. I'm still active. I think if you're not an active dentist, the profession's going to destroy your body ultimately, because you're
for sure.
bent over with your head upside down. You know, so do some form of, I think, either just even if it's a half an hour of stretching, if it's a half an hour run, or jog, or walk, and then try to develop the ability to switch off. Not that you don't care, you know what I mean? It's not. It's
but you leave your work at work, and you
exactly. It's like you still care deeply. You want to do the best that you can the next day, but don't bring it home with you. That's the one thing. That's why I did dentistry, not medicine. Because I can turn my phone off.
And you can relax.
And I can relax. Or if a patient messages me at 9 o'clock, like I've had it like 4 times in my whole career. And I've got messages at 9 o'clock, patients in excruciating pain, what the hell? And I've gone out to the surgery 4 times in 11 years. 4 nights in 11 years. That's not even 1%. You know, so it's the profession allows us to still have a 9 to 5, so to speak, and then switch off and then resume the next day. And that's important. And I mean, I see oaks get burnt out because you get home, now you're freaking out, now you want to do emails. And look, you're going to go through a growth phase, and I think 25 to 30-year-olds, you got to push. You know,
you've got to work hard at some point.
It's the time to sweat, because you want to develop your skills now, and you want to get it done so that when you pass 35, you're doing the clinical dentistry you want to do. So yes, you're going to be nights where you're going to be studying, and you're going to be doing extra reading and watching online videos and whatever it is that you want to do to improve your skill. But you have to try to develop coping mechanisms for the stress. And I see she's a metaphysical therapist. She's not a psychologist. She does energy readings. It's quite out there, but it's awesome, dude. And it's like she's someone to talk to, and then she reads your energy fields, and she's like, you are all over the show. She's like, you can feel like you like, she puts her hand on her neck and your neck, and she can feel like your thyroid and your adrenal functions just through the roof. And she just tunes me like, just chill out, just switch off. And you actually have to tell yourself to do that. But it helps to also, I don't know, get help, get advice,
But that's what I'm also seeing, a life coach / business coach / psychologist, whatever you want to call it. It's amazing. My wife complains about how much it costs, and I'm like, no. I don't actually care what it costs. It's amazing.
Honestly, I would pay double. Because it's helped me.
If it's the right person. I've had one that was wrong, and I would not pay for that. But the guy I'm seeing now, like some days he doesn't even speak to me, but he just puts things in perspective.
Totally.
And
you can just talk, and then it's like off your chest almost.
Exactly.
So that you got it off your chest, and you feel lekker. And you can actually process after that. So I think we need it, dude. Our profession is.
It is stressful.
It's stressful. It is. We what roles do we play during the day? You're a dentist. You're the patient psychologist. You're your staff's mentor and their therapist, because they're having shit at home. You know, you play so many roles. You're the manager. You're the boss.
You've got to look after your finance.
You're the bank manager. It's crazy what we do. Actually, it's like, and I think, what the hell did I get myself into? But it's what I'm balls deep now. You know, I'm in there. I'm like, I'm not.
And you've got to figure out how to do it.
Exactly. Now it's like sink or swim type of thing. Like, let it kill you. And I get it. The suicide rates, I get it. I get the depression. And in the past, I understand why dentists just would burn out and freak out. But I think more and more important for young, especially like this, our generation, who are just swamped with social media and pressures, and check your mate he's sold like 10 properties and he's like skiing in Austria, and you're like, what am I doing? And you're like,
you get that off.
You know, and you're like, and so we're just so bombarded by it. And I think anxiety, depression, stress is a pandemic. It's sweeping our generation more than our parents, because like that talk is everything was linear. They just studied and they got there, you know, and they obviously they had stress and anxiety, but I don't think it's at the same level that we know it now, and especially the kids now, like growing up you grew up with a cell phone in their hand already, and you've been on Facebook since you were 3. You know, I joined Facebook when I was like 20.
Yeah, 2007.
I think.
Yeah, we joined 2007.
So if you were born 2004, okay, you're 15 now, and you've been on Facebook basically since you were since you can remember, you know.
And it does put a lot of pressure on you. The other thing, it keeps you busy the whole time. Like we were saying earlier, your brain never switches off.
Never.
Because you think you're lying in bed looking at some pictures, but you're actually so stimulated by that blue light and everything that goes into your brain. So you've got to find time to get away from phones as well. That's the other thing.
Get away from the light. I listen to audiobooks. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, me too.
And on my phone, I've got wireless headphones. Yeah. Phone's away, and I just listen to a book that sometimes I like a story. Yeah. That just is like a cool story to listen to, or something that's going to add value other than dentistry. I don't want to listen to dentistry when we're falling asleep. You know, I'm done. You know, obviously, if you're studying, but when I go to bed, it's like a nice story. It's a motivational book. It's you know, it's something cool and
something different.
And it's something different, and your eyes are shut, and this visual stimulus is away. Yeah. And even if it's like half an hour, that helps me fall asleep. I don't know. I mean, like falling asleep. I remember when I was just getting really busy, and especially leading up to my wedding, and you know, I was just taking sleeping tablets. You know, I was taking half a Dormanoct every night, Stillnoct every night, because I couldn't sleep for like 4 months up until my wedding. I just could not fall asleep, and then I started taking the sleeping tablets. Then I slept, and then I couldn't not take the sleeping tablets.
It's a vicious cycle.
So, and you don't want to be dependent on that. I mean, unless you really have an issue, and some people do need medication. Yeah. But I've managed to like cut that out completely, find a way to switch off, just de-stress. Do
you have a morning ritual or something, or not?
So I do yoga twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I've been doing that for 7 years, every morning, twice a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays I do yoga. Wednesdays I go for a swim. Mondays are normally just like coffee. Now actually my wife and I started this meditation Monday. So just for 10 minutes, try wake up a little bit early, sit like on it. We just go to our lounge, sit on 2 cushions, and she just sets a timer on her phone, and it beeps every 2.5 minutes. Okay, you just sit and close your eyes. Yeah,
it's amazing.
You don't even, you know, like people say meditation. How do I meditate? Just sit there and close your eyes and just sit and let your mind just go. And what I do is like, okay, like I've got a big case today. I actually run through the case in my head. I visualize the steps, the whole thing. And then 10 minutes goes like this. Yeah. And so we try to do that on Monday mornings now. We've actually started about 2 months ago. Really great. And then Fridays I leave like, you know, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday I'll do something in the morning. Yoga's cool. It's sometimes it's quite a physical yoga. Yeah. It's Ashtanga, so you're like pushing your body quite a lot, sweating a lot. Okay. But you have to breathe the whole time. So you get into that zone, but sometimes your mind's like bouncing around. Yeah. It's not always perfect, but it's still a ritual that I just stick to. Yeah. Then I go have a lekker breakfast afterwards and go to work. So it's lucky when I got my practice. Like I told my staff I start Tuesdays at 9. Okay. You know what I mean? That's Tuesdays and Thursdays. I start at 9. Doesn't change. Why? I do yoga till 7:30. I want to shower and have a nice breakfast, and then I come to work. Yeah. And they just don't book me patients before 9 on a Tuesday and a Thursday. Sometimes, obviously, I make a plan if there's an emergency and I'll come in early, but it gives me that freedom to know that I actually got some time. Wednesdays I'll do a little swim. So winter's tough because it's freezing cold. Yeah. Sometimes you're not really keen, but I try to do something. And then like a Friday morning is like, it's a free-for-all. I mean, there's been some lovely mornings in summer, just like go for a surf. I mean, you suppose you can just hop into the sea, have a surf before work.
Yeah, that's amazing.
There must be some really great times where you get to work fresh, ready.
But the thing is, you don't always do it. You've got to kind of force yourself to make time.
Everything is discipline, dude. Everything. Either the profession, in our social lives, in our in managing our stress. It's all, you have to be disciplined.
Yeah.
But I suppose when you just get into a routine, it kind of comes naturally.
I think the thing is that drives people is money, so they start working earlier, working later, working through lunch, and that's what I did, and I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
And the money will come. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Just do good work.
Yeah.
Get yourself in a good space. The money will follow.
Yeah.
It's not money will always follow if you're doing semi-decent work.
100%. I think what's important is that you get some form of support from either a family member, or in my case, I went to the bank, and I initially got a practice loan, paid that off, and now I've just got a nice overdraft.
Yeah, you've got something to fall back on.
I haven't gone into it since I got it, like about a year and a half ago.
Okay,
it's there visually. My bank balance is, more than is because of the overdraft. So I have this perception that I'm not going to run out of money.
Yeah.
But I obviously manage my money. I don't spend more than I earn, and I try to be good with it. And it's only like, you're right. In the beginning, you're counting cents. When a patient doesn't pay you, you've flown them like 3 weeks later, like, please pay me for this 2 surface filling I did. Now, I don't even know who hasn't paid me. I get a list. I mean, thankfully, my practice is busy enough. But in the beginning, you follow
you've
the
got to turn over the
cents.
cents.
And but if I think there are. Look, we're a profession, fortunately, that banks do support.
Yeah.
I know Nedbank are good. I see Investec are sponsoring this thing. I got great support from Nedbank.
Okay, yeah, me too.
And I think that's important, like just to back yourself, get some cushion, and just be frugal. But you're right, don't work for the money.
Yeah, the money will come.
The money will come.
It's an issue that I found, and we've got to wrap it up now. But do you need to go?
I just need to check this quickly.
Okay, what I found is people treat the guy, and he's here for an hour. And he wants to quickly do something for him. So he does 3 fillings, takes a pan, takes this, and you end up charging the guy a couple of $1,000. But if you just took a step back and said, listen, I'm not going to charge you anything today, but I'm going to do a proper treatment plan. And I'm going to treat the perio, and I'm going to treat the 3 fillings that you need. I'm going to give you maybe tooth whitening. And just take a step back, give a guy a proper quote. And the guy's going to come back in a month or maybe 2 months. But then you're going to make more money. But if you try and make as much money as possible in the 1 hour that you've got, you're always going to be reactive, and you're always going to be chasing your tail.
That's great advice, because the mistakes we made, or I made in the beginning, was you try to do as much as you can in that short time, and try plan as well in that short time.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
Mark, listen, you're an inspiration for me, and it's lucky to have you here. I think we should get back to the course now. We've been missing out a little bit. But it's really lucky to have you as a friend, and to send my crap to Cape Town and let you fix it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, dude, it's been great connecting again, man. You're doing great stuff, following you on Insta. Keep it going, man.
Lucky.
So made it work in J Bay. I think if you made it work there, dude, you fly anywhere, because it's
thanks, I appreciate it.
Sea Point, Joburg, Oaks, Cape. You're lucky. You got patients with money. You got a niche. Find out a niche, and you've done a bloody good job.
Yeah.
So, awesome.
Thanks a lot. Cool. We'll have a lucky day. Cheers.
Okay.